Okay, let's unpack this. Welcome to the Transfer Ready by Succession Strength podcast. Imagine you've spent, I don't know, 35 years training for a really grueling high stakes marathon. You wake up early, push your limits, make massive sacrifices.
Right, you're just giving it everything you have every single day.
Exactly. And finally, you cross the finish line, they hand you the gold medal, and then someone just taps you on the shoulder and says, "Great job, you can never run again."
Wow. Yeah, the cheering stops, the crowd dissipates, and suddenly you're just standing there in your running shoes. The race is over, and your entire way of life has vanished in a single afternoon.
It's a haunting image, really. And it brings us to the core of our deep dive today. We're exploring this counterintuitive reality for successful entrepreneurs. Like, why executing a flawless business exit can still leave you completely miserable.
It's the ultimate blind spot. You might be financially bulletproof, but, well, are you personally ready for the day after?
Right, so consider this classic scenario we see all the time. An owner sells his company for $15 million. He checks every single box.
He maximizes the valuation, minimizes his taxes, buys a massive yacht.
Yeah, buys the boat, throws an incredible celebration. But fast forward 6 months and he is utterly adrift. He tells a friend, "Look, I have everything I wanted, but I wake up every morning with absolutely nothing to do."
He misses his team, the urgency of the daily fires, and just having a core mission. He planned the money, but he completely ignored the void.
Now, I have to challenge this a bit because a lot of people listening are probably thinking, give me the 15 million, I'll figure it out.
Right, like, I'll gladly take that problem.
Yeah. Doesn't the wealth essentially buy you a buffer? You know, you can travel the world, buy any distraction you want, and just exist in comfort.
Well, what's fascinating here is that it buys comfort, yes, but comfort does not equal fulfillment. The trap is assuming financial readiness is the exact same thing as personal readiness.
Ah, I see. Because during an exit, an entrepreneur surrounds themselves with financial advisors and estate planners to manage the capital.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But your business wasn't just generating revenue. It was an entire psychological ecosystem that gave you your daily dopamine hits, your sense of importance, and your rhythm.
Oh, wow. A psychological ecosystem.
Yeah, and when the ink dries, that ecosystem is instantly destroyed.
So the advisory team protects the capital but leaves the human completely exposed. What is actually dictating whether an exit feels like a victory lap or, a prison sentence?
It comes down to 6 critical dimensions of retirement satisfaction that actually have nothing to do with net worth. Let's look at identity and social connections together. Think about the gravity of the CEO or founder title.
Right, it's basically your social currency.
It is. When you lose that label, you aren't just giving up an office. You're losing your built-in authority in an entire social network of vendors, peers, and employees who constantly look to you for answers.
That makes total sense. You step away and suddenly you're stripped of the professional armor you've worn for decades. You're no longer the smartest person in the boardroom. You're just another guy at the country club.
And that shift directly impacts 2 more dimensions, which are purpose and structure. I mean, for years, the business dictated your schedule.
Right, 12-hour days filled with high-stakes decisions.
Exactly. The human brain adapts to that high-intensity environment. So when you abruptly shift to total freedom, the brain experiences severe decision fatigue.
Wait, really? Decision fatigue from having nothing to do?
Yeah. Without a schedule dictating your time or a core mission getting you out of bed, simply deciding how to spend a Tuesday becomes overwhelmingly stressful.
Wow, it's almost like decompression sickness. You go from the high-pressure depths of running a company straight to the surface, and it just wreaks havoc on your system.
That is an excellent way to frame it. And the final pieces of this puzzle are continued growth and emotional well-being. Entrepreneurs are wired to build, problem solve, and learn.
And when that suddenly stops?
The emotional toll of losing relevance sets in. You realize that past achievements, even a massive payout, just do not automatically sustain your emotional health going forward.
So we spend decades agonizing over the profit margins and the perfect exit multiple, but leave the human element completely to chance.
Which leaves us with a really critical realization.
Oh.
You've likely spent decades planning the finances, but almost no one plans these other 5 dimensions.
And without them, the dream of relaxing turns into a daily void. You spend years tuning your portfolio. But without personal readiness, that wealth might just fund a very comfortable sense of isolation.
Exactly. So before you cross that finish line, ask yourself a hard question. If you went to a dinner party tonight and you couldn't use your business to introduce yourself, what would you say? Who are you when the running stops?
That is such a provocative thought to leave you with. You really need to know where you stand across these 6 dimensions before you make the leap.
And the Retirement Satisfaction Survey is the essential first step to measure your personal readiness across those exact dimensions.
Visit successionstrength.com or email info@successionstrength.com to take the survey. Follow the Transfer Ready by Succession Strength podcast.